back, listeners, to the BizBlend podcast, where we talk about what really fuels a thriving business. From strategies that scale to the inner work that sustains you. I'm your host, Sana, and today we are stepping into the space where strategy meets soul. Now, listeners, my guest is a business mentor and online business manager who supports soulful women entrepreneurs with a blend of modern operations and ancient wisdom, from Ayurveda and astrology to systems and scalability. She is the creator of a unique soul to strategy approach, helping business owners build ventures that are not only profitable by the numbers but they are deeply aligned with their purpose. Now, in a world where we all are kind of obsessed with, performance metrics, output, checks and balances, and growth hacks, today's conversation offers something refreshing. Well, a look at how your energetic blueprint, daily rhythms, and spiritual tools can actually drive sustainable business success. So, with that, listeners, meet my guest, Marie-Eve Talbot. So, Mary, welcome to the show, and I'm really, really honored to have you here with us.
Well, thank you, Sana. The feeling is mutual.
Okay. Um, Mary, let's talk about, because intersection of spirituality and business or entrepreneurship can be really really like a controversial discussion. There will be skepticism around it, so let's understand. I mean, you talk about how aligning business with soul's purpose, is something that you help your clients with. So how do you define soul alignment in practical business terms?
Well, I guess the simplest way we can define it is if it feels good to you. If your day to day or the purpose of your business, your mission, why you wake up in the morning, does it make sense for you? Are you excited about it? And if not, then there's probably a disconnection between what you really yearn to do, what your dharma is, versus what you've chosen to do as your work or in your business. So
Mhm.
I help my clients find that information for themselves. It really comes down to knowing ourselves well, but how do we do that actually? And we can do a lot of introspection or journaling or you know uh, personality tests, but really our astrological charts and human design and gene key maps already have all that information for us. So we can just open those books, read about ourselves, and then make the decisions that are aligned with our traits and what we do in the day to day in our business.
Mhm. And I think this is so relevant to be addressed upon because mostly in the startup culture or in the so-called hustle culture, alignment, it often gets reduced to just the vision and the mission statements. But the way you explained it, about the soul alignment, it's all about it goes like to the deeper levels. And I absolutely love how you explain this. And now, this is something very interesting. I mean, you incorporate tools like Ayurveda, astrology into your mentoring. I would love to know, how do these ancient systems, how do they influence business planning and leadership decisions?
Well, for example, for Ayurveda, many, I guess, the part about Ayurveda that is most known about is our constitution, how we are built with our dosha. But something less known about is the daily cycle of the day and the doshas of the day. So between sunrise and 10 a.m. in the morning, it's a kapha phase. It's a sluggish phase. It's not a very energetic phase. So it's a great time to do bookkeeping or just to follow a to-do list, of basic tasks. But don't if you're gonna work out, do it before 6 a.m. or the sunrise because that will be hard to just get the energy moving and going in that time. And then between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., that's a Pitta phase, the fire phase. So that's when you can just be super productive, get things done, be focused, um, work out if you want, but just have those meetings, have those high energy moments. You'll be your energy will want that, will want to be expressed in that way. So it's better to do it at that time. And then from 2 p.m. to sunset or 6 p.m., more or less, it's
Mhm.
more the Vata phase. So creativity, connections, like networking, social commitments, creative, any content creation would be a good time there too. Um, so that's one way that I use Ayurveda with my clients to help them structure their day so that the tasks they need to do are most aligned with the energy of the moment.
Mm.
For astrology, I really like to track the where the moon is in comparison to my houses for my chart. So if the moon is in a very, like for example, if the moon is in my third house, then I know I'll be super social, communicative. That's the best time for me to plan all my social media posts and, you know, batch that content. And if it's more of like if it's in my sixth house, which is organization and health, then I'll be super happy to color code things, to just sort through my papers, um, to take more time to eat healthily and work out a little bit more. Um, so that goes throughout the month. It's not a daily thing, it's more of a monthly thing. And I've just found that the cycle of the zodiac really mirrors well how my inner archetypes want to express themselves throughout the month. And it's just super fulfilling to match them together. I don't feel like I'm going against anything. I'm just surrendering to what is easiest and what flows the best.
Oh, Mary, I have heard CEOs using astrology, for like to launch their website or go live or for human design for team roles. But still, many of people who mostly see everything from the numbers viewpoint, they look at it something as a woo. So what is the business case for these frameworks? I mean, have you dealt with skepticism, when you are working with, especially, entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs around astrology or maybe Ayurveda?
Well, I guess I'm very lucky because I mostly work with spiritual entrepreneurs, life coaches, yoga teachers, people that are already in their holistic health industry and personal development industry. So some of them aren't totally sold on it, but once they try it and they see that actually it makes their life better, they don't need a ton of convincing or data because they already themselves function in that kind of paradigm of mystery. They themselves are already helping their clients in an intangible way that isn't scientifically proven necessarily, but that they have witnessed so much good results that they just can't help themselves and build a business in that area. So yeah, sometimes it's new for them, but it doesn't take very long that they're sold on it.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, that is smart. That is really smart. Um, okay. Now, since we are talking about the intersection of spirituality and business here, entrepreneurship here, I think discussion around energy is so vital here. Um, so, talking about energy cycles, Mary, how do creativity, then rest, and then all these spiritual practices factor into strategic decision making, when we have to really be practical, focused on what is actually happening, and then take a hard decision which is for the greater good. especially in high pressure moments. Then you have to, like, it's a do or die situation.
Well, hopefully we don't have do or die situations too often, but um, I think we can all agree that being well rested helps us take some distance from the drama or the intensity of a situation and better see the whole picture. Take logic into account and not just react because, oh my God, we're afraid, or, there's so much, someone told us we should do that, and we just give in that. Um, when we can hold our energy better, then we can make much better decisions. Um, what else can I say? Do you have more questions for me about that? Or would you like me to elaborate on something?
I would love to add here something. So in the India, and this has been like timeless. I mean, from the beginning when I came into existence, I've observed this. So, you know, um, the shop owners, the shopkeepers, or they're even if they're business owners. So in the morning when they open their shop, before even the first transaction happens, that is called as Boni, um, they worship goddess Lakshmi. She is the goddess of money and prosperity. So they worship goddess Lakshmi, rather, goddess Lakshmi and Ganesha for block, because Ganesha will help block out all the bad occurrences and, all the hardships. So there is definitely such a beautiful marriage of spirituality and business, because I think it gives a hope. I believe it gives a hope, from within, even if there is a hard decision to take, or there is something happening in your business which is kind of affecting you energetically. Having that belief gives you that strength to embrace it and think through it, because especially in those times, you kind of lose kind of tend to lose the perspective in there and take wrong decisions as well. So that's what I would love to add here.
Yeah, and also I think that when we connect to these deities, or when we have affirmations, things like that, we raise our frequency to that abundance or that luck. Maybe we woke up grumpy or we had an argument with someone in the house, but then we start praying to Lakshmi or Ganesha, and it changes how we feel. So maybe they'll help during the day, but also we're changing our attitude toward the day too.
Yes. Yes. Great, great, Mary. Okay, I'll jump on to the next, question. It's more about, so because you help entrepreneurs streamline operations, um, how do you balance systems and structure with the intuitive flow?
Could you ask me in a different way? I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, so since help entrepreneurs in streamlining, business operations or the processes, because sometimes because operations, they are the backbone of any business in there. So how do you help them balance those processes which are aligned with their intuition, or maybe their energy flow, that okay, this is the time to look into a particular process where there is a kind of gap in there, and this is the time I should really look into this and get this problem solved, something like this, as an example.
Yeah, well, thank you for the example. It really helped me understand the question.
Mm.
Um, well, I guess I'm not a very prescriptive mentor. They will come up and tell me the questions, the things that are on their mind, or the problems, the difficulties, the challenges they're encountering, and we'll look at whether, like, where that sticks, where it seems block for them, and address the energetic and their own preferences and everything about that, their personality, their blueprints. And then in terms of systems, then anything is possible. Whatever we decide they want to do and is most aligned with their goals, then we'll create those systems. There are so many tools right now online for almost, well, basically everything we need. It's just a matter of knowing what we want first, and then it will be quite easy to implement the solution.
Mm, that makes sense. Great, great, Mary. So before we wrap up, if our listeners would like to connect with you and understand your soul to strategy approach, explore it, what will be the best way to do that?
Well, my website has all the information about myself, my services, and my other social media accounts. So they can find me at www.delightedspirit.com.
Okay, I'll make sure to have all the links and the details in the show notes. And Mary, thank you so, so much. I think this was really, really a soulful strategy session, something really unique because traditionally, I guess in the business circles and MBA classes and all, we have never been I've never encountered um, you know, uh, teaching about the intersection of energy or intuition or spirituality into business. So this is something really fresh and unique. So thank you so much for this conversation.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a real pleasure.
So listeners, thank you so much for tuning into BizBlend to connect with Mary and explore her soul to strategy, mentorship, and business guidance. Just refer to the show notes. And I hope that today's conversation it offered a reminder to all of you that you don't have to really choose spreadsheets and spirituality, numbers and spirituality, they can coexist. And until next time, keep blending what makes you bold and empowered with what makes you whole right here on BizBlend. And this is your host, Sana, signing off. Thank you.